What if I told you the same benefit you earned from serving could be the difference between renting forever and building hundreds of thousands of dollars in wealth? That's what the VA home loan is all about, and today I'm breaking it all down so you'll know what the VA home loan is and how it works, who qualifies for it, why it often crushes other loan options, and how you can use it to buy, refinance, or even invest. I'm Antwaun Hill, U.S. Army veteran and your Hawaii real estate expert. So let's start with a quick question. What's the biggest expense most families have? It's housing. Whether you're renting or paying a mortgage, a huge portion of your income goes towards keeping a roof over your head. Now, here's another question. What's the number one asset that most millionaires own? It's real estate, and that's not a coincidence. The biggest expense you have, where you live, is also one of the strongest wealth building tools that you have. So let's talk about how home ownership can put you in a better financial position. There are three key ways that owning a home builds wealth. First, appreciation. Over time, home values tend to increase. For example, in 2000, the median home price in Honolulu County was about $295,000. But by 2021, that had jumped to over $990,000. That's almost $700,000 in growth. Second, building equity. Every mortgage payment increases your ownership in a home. If you rent for 20 years, you're left with nothing. But if you own a home, you're slowly building wealth that you can later tap into. And third, tax benefits. Homeowners can deduct mortgage interest, property taxes, and in some cases, avoid capital gains taxes. This is why so many people use real estate as a long-term wealth building strategy. So now that we understand why home ownership is so valuable, let's talk about how the VA loan helps you buy a home. The VA loan is a government-backed mortgage that allows eligible service members, veterans, and some surviving spouses to buy a home with 0% down. That means no saving up for a huge down payment, just getting straight into home ownership. Now, here's what makes the VA home loan better than other loan types. Zero down payment. There's no need to save for a down payment. Lower interest rates. VA loans typically offer better rates than conventional or FHA loans. No primary mortgage insurance. Unlike conventional loans, you don't have to pay extra for mortgage insurance. Lower closing costs because VA loans have reduced lender fees and flexible refinancing options. You can refinance easily to lower your rate or take cash out. But not everyone knows that they qualify for a VA loan. So let's go over who can actually use this benefit. Well, active duty service members. They're eligible after 90 days of service during wartime or 181 days during peacetime. Veterans. If you've separated with an honorable discharge, you qualify. National Guard and Reserves. You're eligible after 6 years of service or 90 days of active duty. And surviving spouses. If your spouse passed away due to service-related causes, you may qualify as well. Being eligible for a VA loan doesn't automatically mean you qualify. Lenders still check a few things to make sure you can afford the loan. Here's what they look for. Credit. VA loans don't require a perfect credit score, but most lenders look for 580 or higher. And capacity. Lenders check your income and debt to income ratio to make sure you can afford the home. And collateral. The home itself must be appraised and it meets the VA appraisal standards. If you're worried about your credit or income, don't assume you won't qualify. Talk to a lender first. Now, there's a lot of misinformation out there about the VA home loan, so let's clear up some of those common myths. The VA loan is too expensive because of the funding fee. That's false. The VA funding fee can often be financed into the loan, and many veterans are exempt from paying it. I can only use my VA loan for my first home. That's false. You can use your VA loan benefit multiple times throughout your life. The VA home loan process takes forever. False. VA loans can close just as fast as conventional loans when handled by the right professionals. There's a maximum loan amount on a VA loan. That's also false. There's no longer a VA loan limit for the first tier entitlement. The limit depends on the lender and your financial qualifications. I can't qualify for a VA loan because my credit score isn't high enough. False. The VA does not set a minimum credit score requirement. Lenders typically look for 580 or higher, but there are options for lower scores. Understanding these myths help you make informed decisions so that you don't miss out on this incredible benefit. The VA loan is backed by the government, but what does that really mean? The VA provides a guarantee to lenders that protects them in the case of a borrower defaulting. Because of the VA guarantee, lenders are willing to offer 100% financing, which means no money down is required, and no PMI or primary mortgage insurance, which saves borrowers hundreds of dollars per month compared to conventional loans. Now, this government backing is what makes the VA loan one of the most powerful mortgage options available. If you're active duty, basic allowance for housing is one of the biggest financial tools you have, but the question is, are you using it to build wealth or just paying rent? Let's look at the 2025 Honolulu County BAH rates for a 3-year tour in Hawaii. For an E6 with dependents, that's $3,738 a month, or over $130,000 over 3 years. For 03 with dependents, that's $151,000 over 3 years. And for a CW2 with dependents, that's $143 over 3 years. If you're stationed in Hawaii for a 3-year tour, you have the opportunity to buy a home with 0% down, live in it while you're here, and then decide whether you want to sell for a profit or rent it out for additional income when you PCS. A lot of service members don't realize that the BAH that they're already receiving can be the key to starting their real estate investment journey. Here's your 5-step process to successfully using your VA loan. First, get expert guidance. You want to work with a VA experienced real estate agent and lender. Second, you want to know your budget. Third, you want to get pre-approved. This shows sellers that you're serious about buying. Fourth, you want to work with the buyer's agent. A good agent will negotiate and protect your interests. And fifth, you want to find a home and close the deal. Once you're under contract, your lender and agent will guide you through the closing process. If you have any questions or want to see if you qualify, reach out to me. You can email me at askantwaun@gmail.com, follow me on Instagram at askantwaun, or just send me a message. And remember, BAH means buy a house. And if you need real estate answers, just ask Antwaun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Mahalo.